It's so easy to do this stuff in front of a camera, to do this stuff in front of a microphone. But getting off stage, driving home, man, somebody's going to cut me off. And I want to drive up next to him just so I can see exactly what a stupid driver looks like. You know, because I want to look at him and then I want to go drive on, right? And it happens so fast that we get so excited about all the things that mean so much to us. And then we drive on our way home and forget. See, I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget all the things that I supposedly believe once I have to interact with my roommates. Once I have to drive in a van a long time with another guy across the country and try to endure all his strange idiosyncrasies. And he's got to endure mine. See, it happens both ways. The nature of addicts is really not about substances, but it's all concerned about choosing yourself over everyone else and refusing to interact with anyone else's world because yours is the only one that's important. Man, see if you're an addict. You know, I drive through Austin all the time, and on one side of Austin is the west side. That's where all the people that look like me and the people that have money live. On the other side is the east side, where the people that don't look like me and the people that don't have any money live. You know what I'm saying? And I used to see people over there all the time, and I go, man, how do I get involved with anybody over here? Because I feel like I'm missing out on part of my city. It's like, well, I don't know. I was like, man, God, if you give me an opportunity, I'll take it. So I stopped at this car wash one day. I'm vacuuming out my car, and I hear this, "Excuse me, can I ask you a question?" And I said, yeah. And he says, "Can you give me some money to buy me some alcohol?" I thought, no. I said, "But I'll buy dinner." He said, "Now, I'm not hungry. I don't want me no dinner. I'm an alcoholic. I want me some alcohol. I'm being real with you." I said, "Well, that's great, man, but I'm not going to give you money for alcohol, but I'll buy you dinner." He said, "Now, when you say you're going to buy me dinner?" I said, "Right now. You want to go eat?" He said, "Where are we going to eat?" I said, "There's Popeyes fried chicken right over there. You want to eat at Popeyes?" He goes, "Yeah, I like that chicken at Popeyes. It's spicy." I thought, are you serious? Is this a commercial? It's like hidden cameras somewhere around here. The theme music's about to start playing. Just by the way, I've done the theme music a lot, and I don't know what the theme music to Popeyes is. It's definitely not like Popeyes fried chicken, because it's like New Orleans style, and I can't really imitate a Cajun Zydeco band with one voice. Anyway, but so we go over to Popeyes fried chicken to eat, and I buy him dinner. We sit down, we start talking. He starts telling me about his life. Turns out he'd been this jazz musician, played with all these famous people. He said, "Man, I wasted my life on drugs, on crime, on alcohol." I said, "Well, hey, it's never too late." He said, "Hey, can you give me a ride home?" I said, "No problem," because I'm already thinking, like, I like this guy. I want to see him again, you know. And his name was George, and I thought, now I know where he lives, so I can visit him, right? And so I drive him home to his house, pull up into this run-down, beat-down piece of crap house, this big, huge behemoth boat, 1976 Ford Thunderbird rusting out in the driveway. There's big grass growing everywhere, ant mounds all over the place. And I said, "Hey, before you go, can I pray for you?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." So I start praying for him. While I'm praying for him, these two big guys come out of the house and get on both sides of my little car, and they go, "Hey, what are you doing in there?" And I thought, Whitey White Boy is about to get his butt kicked. And George goes, "Hey, we're praying." And they go, "What?" He goes, "We're praying." They go, "Okay." And they go back inside. And I was like, "Okay, all right." He goes, "Hey, sorry about that. Those are my nephews. They're all drug dealers and alcoholics and addicts." And I was like, "Okay, wonderful." And he said, "But don't forget me. Come back and visit me." I said, "All right, I will." So I went back not knowing what would happen. Well, I started meeting family. Now, the two nephews, one of them was named Rashi, and the other one was named Ryan. We became friends. We started hanging out. And it was a while, and I remember one time I went over there, and George goes, "Hey, Peter, can you come back here and help me out with something?" And I learned by this time, George's not always on it. He's not always with it. And I was thinking, I'm busy. I got lots of stuff to do. Something inside me said, just stay and hang out with this guy. And I said, all right. So I went back, and we had this great time. I wrote about, the story that happened to us when I was there. And I went home. I came back a couple weeks later, and I was going to show him what I'd written. And when I got there, George died. Just a couple days before I got back. I didn't know what I was writing about. I read this at his funeral the next day. He's just sitting there on his bed, going through his papers, his bills, needing to get some pills, get his prescriptions filled. I don't know how many there are or what they're all from, but my ears are open as the beat of his mouth drum tells me the tales, creeps to the jails of my understanding, sets them free, pours into me all the sickness and misery untouched by the reaches of Medicaid. It's like watching an ant parade pass in front of slow-motion camera eyes, all scurrying in struggled steps while my strong male body can only observe with helpless hands. He asked me to read the numbers, find the facts his cataracts are unable to reach, and the papers pass across the hall, fall on clean fingers now stained with their ink. All my thoughts sink and scurry to footsteps I have raced, traced all around the city, trying to taste every hasty decision I have yet to make. This won't take too long, he says. My eyes turn red with embarrassment, sitting in a dingy corner of a beaten-down house, hot and pounding, the searing, unconditioned air falling with droplets of sweat on a beating conscience. So I sit there as he waits expectantly, smiles approval at the information I've confirmed, and that hurry bug squirms out my ear. Fears and concerns spurn for the pleasure of this moment, this service to a 70-year-old man with puffy legs and puffy fingers and scarred legs on a shriveled body. Hospital stories turn to ancient histories of jazz clubs and colorful towns. Moonlight drowns the clock through the window. I shift on the faltering cushion supporting me, breathing stale, tobacco-laden air like it was the first giggle of springtime. Finding beauty in his wrinkle-surrounded sight, catching the faint gleams of hope and friendship lost in years of wanderings through self-pleasured quests and wasted treasure chests. Is it really him? Or is it me I'm thinking about? Moment of doubt as I walk out the door. Re-enter the whirlpool rush of Western culture, breathe the fumes of this convolution cavalcade, life charading in frightened forms, desperate storms of urgency. I'm just thinking about my friend George, tapping his knee. Curly gray hair winking back at me. Leaning silently till a dirty pillow kisses his tired face. Time's erased. And George, he takes his place.